A wife like you, a slacker, is not worth staying together anymore. If you have complaints, let's get a divorce.
It was unmistakably my husband, who was red in the face and yelling in front of me. Why did I end up marrying such a man? Just when I was thinking we should live supporting each other with my child. Custody goes to the father, right? Huh? Suddenly, my daughter was confronted with a reality. But my daughter had a secret plan. My name is Mary, and I'm 42 years old. I have been married to my husband Kyle for almost 20 years. We're a family of 3. My husband, me, and our first-year high school daughter, Melanie. My husband is a workaholic, and since our daughter was little, we didn't have many family outings. I also liked my job, so I wanted to return to work when I put my daughter in daycare. But I was ordered by my husband like this.
You are a wife and a mother. Just take care of the house. Don't even think about working. That's ridiculous.
He provides for the living expenses, so there was no need to worry about our livelihood. But neither my daughter nor I are seeking such a life. What we desire is to go out more as a family, spend time together as a family of 3. However, even when I told my husband about it, he would dismiss it, saying,
Talking about such thing is a waste of time. Unlike you two, I work every day, and that's my prime time.
And he would treat me and my daughter as nuisances, putting the blame on us. Even as my daughter was still young, she seems to have noticed that my husband was rejecting family time. At some point, the amount of time I spent talking to my husband decreased drastically. On the positive side, my daughter and I were close, like sisters. We go shopping together, go to the movies on weekends. As she grew up, she became more helpful, giving me some free time for myself. My husband is relatively quiet, as long as my daughter doesn't talk to him. He eats his meals without any complaints. My daughter and I had grown accustomed to such a life. One day, my husband started complaining about me.
Hey, I have been thinking, what's the deal with the meals you make?
Huh? I didn't do anything special.
Something is off. Every single day, you serve up such awful food. Who do you think buys the ingredients for you? Despite being a stay-at-home mom, can't you even cook properly?
He would rant and shout like this unreasonably, even though my cooking had never been praised before. I have never been subjected to such harsh words.
And it's bland in flavor. Are you treating me like an old man? Who do you think is supporting our lives?
Well, my daughter, who had been silently enduring my husband's tyrannical behavior, suddenly spoke up while we were having a meal together. Dad, can you stop yelling from the morning? It's really annoying. And if you think that this is bland, why don't you add seasoning yourself? You're not a child, you know. My husband was momentarily taken aback by my daughter's clear retort. Apparently, he didn't know how to deal with my daughter because he hadn't interacted with her properly before. He usually just ignored her whenever she said something. Hey, Dad, are you listening? It's true that we can live thanks to your money, but who do you think is cooking for us? Who enables us to have meals every day? Who takes care of the laundry to ensure we have clean shirts every day?
Well, that's...
Faced with a confrontation from his disliked daughter, my husband struggled to respond. Then, he began to redirect his focus from our daughter to me.
Hey, because of your bad parenting, Melanie has grown into such a defiant brat, right? How do you plan to take responsibility?
Hold on. What do you mean by calling your own daughter a brat?
Huh. It's the truth, right? I'm sure Melanie will turn into a bad person just like you.
My husband snickers triumphantly. I couldn't tolerate being insulted myself, let alone my daughter. Cut it out already. Saying such things to your precious daughter. You're the worst. In response to my raised voice, my husband retorted with a mocking look.
A useless wife like you is not worth being with anymore. If you have a problem with it, get a divorce.
Divorce? Why are you suddenly saying that?
What's wrong? Are you troubled by the idea of getting divorced? Well, I guess so. An unemployed housewife like you could never survive on your own.
Saying this, my husband began to laugh loudly. Considering my long period as a stay-at-home wife, as my husband claimed, I didn't have much in terms of savings. If I were to divorce and raise my daughter alone, I could foresee the hardships. But to stay with such a man in the future, that was absolutely unbearable. While I wrestled with this inner conflict, my daughter spoke up again. Mom, it's going to be okay. You don't have to force yourself to stay married to Dad. I'm smart, and I support your decision. Melanie, with those words from my daughter, it felt like a weight was lifted from my heart. My daughter, who was my biggest concern, was supporting me in this decision. Even though there would be challenges, being with my beloved daughter, I made up my mind and agreed to my husband's divorce demand. Fine, let's get a divorce. Then my husband, as if waiting for this, took out a pre-filled divorce form from his bag.
Here, sign this. Then I will give you some money for moving expenses as a farewell gift.
You're quite prepared, huh?
Of course. I've wanted a divorce for a long time. I've been dropping hints for ages. Didn't you notice? Besides, you are too persistent.
So, my husband deliberately made annoying remarks to hasten the divorce process. He had grown to dislike me that much. At that point, I stopped caring about everything. I signed the divorce papers as instructed, and my husband handed me some money.
Do your best with that money.
While taking it, I felt like I was losing, but honestly, I could use the money. Silently, I accepted it and tucked it away. As soon as I decided on the divorce, it felt like a huge burden was lifted from my shoulders, and I immediately decided to live with my daughter. Melanie, let's prepare together. At least until we find our new home, we can stay at my mom's place. Just as I was about to say that, I'm not moving. Custody is with Dad, right? Huh? What did you just say? Not moving? Custody with Dad? My daughter's words left me in a panic.
Wait a minute, Melanie. What do you mean? You are going to live with your mom.
But I'm in high school, you know. I don't want to transfer now. And moving is a hassle, right?
Then Mom will find a house near your high school, okay?
It's fine, really. I'm used to living in this house, and I've decided to live efficiently. My daughter's expression was lively, and she seems completely untroubled. Seeing her like that made me feel a bit sad. Maybe I was the only one who thought we were a close-knit parent-child pair. My daughter's reaction was more shocking than my husband's divorce demand. However, it wasn't just me who was shaken by her decision. My husband too seemed flustered.
Don't mess around. Normally, daughters live with their mothers, right? You should live with her too.
Be quiet. I said I don't want to. I said I don't want to. When you turn 16, you can choose which parent to live with based on your own will. That's why I'm saying I will stay with Dad.
I don't care about that. Weren't you close to marry? So why?
Like I said before, moving is a hassle. And considering efficiency, it's more convenient for dad to have custody. While my daughter explained with ease, my husband clearly wasn't convinced. Despite yelling multiple times,
Live with Mary.
my daughter adamantly shook her head. Then she continued, Mom, I will help you pack too. It will be faster if we do it together, right? Saying that, she started gathering things in my room. I couldn't understand this child's intentions at all. What is Melanie thinking? I was momentarily confused. No, maybe I was the only one who thought we were close like sisters, and she never really liked me from the beginning. Thinking pessimistically, tears welled up naturally. As I hid my face to keep it from my daughter, she spoke to me cheerfully. It's okay, Mom. Just a little more patience. Eh? For a moment, I froze, not understanding what she meant. However, that confusion was dispelled when I heard about a certain plan from my daughter. That's how it is. So, Mom, please hang in there, even if you are alone. Yes, I understand. With my daughter as a collaborator, I became determined. I won't let my husband have his way. I will definitely get my revenge. With this resolve, I packed my belongings and left our home. Afterward, I returned to my parents' house, and a month later, I was able to rent an apartment. When I informed my daughter of the new apartment's address, she started dropping by after high school. According to my daughter, the plan was progressing smoothly. It's about time for things to start moving. My daughter informed me of this around 3 months after my husband's divorce request. As expected, one day, a call came from my husband.
Hello? Is this Mary? Please help me.
My husband's first words were in tears. I pretended not to know anything and asked him, Help you? What happened?
Melanie, she treats me like a housekeeper every day. I can't take it anymore.
It was just as I expected. Since I left, my daughter has been correcting my husband on all household chores.
Even though I have work, she keeps saying, cook proper meals and do laundry every day. She complains about the taste of the food, saying it's too strong or unappetizing. I'm really stressed out.
All the unreasonable things my husband had said to me were now being thrown back at him by my daughter. The consequences of his own actions were coming back to haunt him. My husband, without realizing it, was seeking my help.
Please, take Melanie back. I'm seriously losing my mind like this.
Honestly, taking Melanie back was not a problem for me. In fact, I wanted to live with her again as soon as possible. However, if I agreed now, it would ruin my daughter's carefully planned strategy. So I told my husband this. Tell that to Melanie, not me. Custody is Melanie's choice. If you really want her to leave, why not negotiate with my daughter? I decisively hung up the phone. That's enough. For now, I will ignore personal feelings and faithfully follow my daughter's plan. A week later, Melanie, having received a substantial sum of money, moved into my apartment. Well done, Mom! Our plan was a great success. Indeed, all thanks to you, Melanie. That's right. My daughter never intended to live separately from me in the first place. Naturally, my daughter arranged for custody to be temporarily with her father, making him understand the challenges of household chores and the struggles of being a mother. After that, she ensured that my husband reached a point where he insisted,
I really want our daughter to leave.
Then she secured a promise for a lump sum payment of child-rearing support until she reached adulthood. With this as a condition, my daughter decided to move out. That was her strategy. Following the plan, Melanie received a calculated amount of $1,000 a month, totaling about $50,000 from her father in one lump sum, just as planned. And so, under clear skies, she moved into my apartment. Truly, my daughter devised a frightening plan though. However, thanks to her plan, financial worries have indeed disappeared. That alone is more than enough. Yet, my daughter brought even more valuable information to me. And then, Mom, look at this. What is it? She handed me a voice recorder. Just press the play button. Pressured by my daughter, I played the voice recorder. There, my husband's conversation with someone on the phone was recorded.
Oh, the divorce is settled properly. But you see, there's our daughter. No, it's fine. I will kick her out properly. Huh? I only love you, Julia. Oh, Julia? It seems the daughter is finally moving out. Now I can live with you, Julia. Yeah, I love you too.
Undoubtedly, it was my husband's voice talking to his affair partner. Furthermore, my daughter showed me a photo of my husband with an unfamiliar woman. What is this, Melanie? What's with this photo? I dug through his phone while making him do house chores. Oh, they are saved text messages with affair partner too. Wanna see? My daughter joyfully presented evidence of my husband's affair one after another. Terrifying. That's what I thought. But thanks to the evidence she gathered, I could claim alimony from my husband. After hiring a lawyer and claiming alimony from my husband, he called.
Hey, what do you mean alimony now? We are already divorced. Whether I have a relationship with someone or not have nothing to do with it, right?
Then, my daughter snatched the phone from me and responded, Hey Dad, even though you are an adult, don't you know? If infidelity is discovered within 3 years after the divorce, you can still claim alimony. Got it?
No.
My husband seems unaware of this fact, and he was left speechless on the other end of the call. He fell completely into his own daughter's trap. Ignoring my husband, who was screaming like crazy, I rejected the call and left the rest to the lawyer. In the end, my ex-husband and his affair partner agreed to pay alimony in a lump sum to me. My ex-husband remarried Julia, his affair partner, but she turned out to be a spender. Spending all his salary, she even maxed out my ex-husband's credit card, accumulating debts. The fact that my ex-husband's divorce was due to infidelity quickly spread within the company, and it seems colleagues around him are looking at him with disapproval. I heard he was cheating even though he has a high school daughter. Yeah, he used to show off at work with that confidence appeal, right? The rumor spread to higher ups, and despite recently getting a promotion, he ended up being demoted. With that, his salary decreased, and he faces daily verbal abuse from his new wife, known for her extravagant spending. It's a level of hardship that makes you feel a bit sympathetic. On the other hand, I'm leading a happy life with my daughter. I've saved all the child support I received from my ex-husband for my daughter's university education. Although not wealthy, my daughter never complains. Somehow, every day is lively, and I truly appreciate having my daughter. Together, we can overcome any difficulties that may come our way in the future. I'm sincerely grateful for this happiness.